Illusion of Fear, Volume 1, Beyond the Fortress. You see, we spend the vast majority of our lives in a state of absolute unrecognized panic, trying to do something quite profoundly impossible. We are trying to nail down the wind. We are attempting to scoop up a rushing river and put it neatly into a wooden bucket. And then, at the end of the day, when the noise finally fades, we sit alone in the quiet of our rooms and wonder why we are so incredibly exhausted. Look at the immense amount of energy we expend just trying to keep everything exactly where it is. We build up these massive psychological walls, these rigid daily routines, these very serious, heavily guarded identities. We construct a heavy fortress of predictability because we are terrified of the tide. But consider the sheer absurdity of our situation. There is a contradiction in wanting to be perfectly secure in a universe whose very nature is momentariness and fluidity. We live in a cosmos that is a flowing, dancing, vibrating process. The stars are moving, the cells in your body are dying and being reborn, the earth is spinning through the void. Everything is a verb. But our minds, our egos, are utterly terrified of this flow. We desperately want things to be nouns. We want to lock life in a heavy iron vault so we can finally feel safe from the unpredictable rhythm of existence. But here is the great, uncomfortable truth. The desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the exact same thing. To hold your breath is to lose your breath. A society based on the endless quest for security is nothing but a grand breath retention contest in which everyone is as taut as a drum, waiting for the other shoe to drop. It is exactly like trying to hold on to water. If you want to hold water, you have to cup your hand. If you grasp it tightly, it escapes. But what do we do when we feel the waters of life shifting? We panic. We grasp tightly. We try to force the universe to sign a contract guaranteeing our safety. And the harder we squeeze, the faster it escapes through our fingers. We sit there looking at our empty, white-knuckled fists, weeping over the loss of the very thing we pushed away. We suffer because we believe security is a real, attainable destination. We think if we just acquire enough money or the right relationship or the perfect status, we will finally arrive at the fortress and the anxiety will permanently stop. But absolute security is an illusion. It is a ghost. In fact, to be perfectly secure, to be completely immune to change and isolated from the unexpected, is simply another definition for being dead. Life is change. Life is the very act of insecurity. We take our plans so incredibly seriously, completely forgetting that we are living in a culture entirely hypnotized by the illusion of time. We constantly sacrifice the beautiful, immediate present moment to prepare for a tomorrow that never actually arrives. We completely ignore the fact that the future is just a concept, a phantom generated by the mind. When you constantly live in that phantom future, you become trapped in an endless loop of anxiety. As the old saying goes, muddy water is best cleared by simply leaving it alone. Think about the anxiety of falling. We go through life feeling this profound vertigo, as if we have been pushed out of an airplane at 30,000 feet, frantically trying to grab onto passing clouds to stop our descent. We grab onto a job title or a bank account, hoping it will act as a parachute. We are terrified of the impending impact. But here is the great cosmic joke. The profound, liberating secret is to realize that there is no ground to hit. When you finally understand that you are falling through empty space and that there is absolutely nothing to hold on to, a very strange thing happens. The panic completely disappears. You stop flailing. You realize that since you cannot possibly secure yourself, since the fall is inevitable and eternal, you might as well open your eyes and enjoy the spectacular view. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. This is the profound transition from the clenched fist to the open palm. When you finally stop demanding that the universe stand still for you, the heavy burden of anxiety begins to evaporate. You realize that the energy you spent fighting the current was the very thing pulling you under. When you let go, you do not drown, you float. So the next time you feel that familiar terror of losing control, Remember that control was always a hallucination. You cannot lose what you never possessed. Unclench your hands. Let the muddy water settle. Step beyond the grasp, and you will find that the flowing river of life is not something to be feared. It is the very thing you are made of.